Oh. Well, shoot. So, Christmas is canceled. Or at least it is if you were waiting for the Doctor Who Christmas special to mark the occasion, because that's not happening. That was very sudden and unexpected news, and one that I have kind of multiple conflicted feelings about, and as is often that happens, we'll see where I shake out at the end by the time I'm done talking. So, yeah, officially Doctor Who will not have a Christmas special this year, which it has had for every year since the show came back. So this will be first time in 13 goes. We've had a lot of these things. So it's but that doesn't mean that there is no special between series of the show. There is still going to be a special. It's just going to be a New Year's special. So the reason being given is that the writing staff, headed by Chris Chibnall, is of the opinion that there really isn't much more left for them to do with Christmas as a central theme for an episode, and moving it to a holiday that doesn't have as many, that is just a general holiday about, new beginnings and whatnot. It doesn't tie them down to as many things and gives them some more freedom to sort of branch out a little bit. And honestly, there's some validity to that, because let's be completely honest, how many more elements of Christmas are there even left to explore? I mean, for crying out loud, we've had killer Christmas stars and killer Christmas trees, and we've had Santa Claus, and we've had a Christmas Carol. I mean, I feel like in many ways the Christmas Armistice was about the last clever thing that they could really have up their sleeve. And even if you could come up with a couple more things, keep in mind that at least as of right now, Chris Chibnall is in for a bit of a long haul. He approached BBC with a 5-year plan, which means that it wouldn't have been enough for him to say, I can't even come up with a Christmas idea for this year. Maybe he could have, but that would be making a commitment to keep coming up with more Christmas stuff for down the line. And honestly, I think he's kind of got a point that there isn't really a ton more mileage and a ton more, land to conquer on that front. So I get that. And if you're going to do a major thing like shift the Christmas special from shift the special from Christmas to New Year's, enough other things are changing at this point that this is about as clean a break as you're going to get, and it's going to feel less jarring. The Christmas special becomes something of the, Eccleston. Well, no, Eccleston didn't do it. The Tennant Smith Capaldi era, and now starting with Whittaker's run for who knows however long. Now it's a New Year's special. Fine. And the other thing, I mean, I'm also saying this coming from the perspective of someone who isn't in love with the Christmas specials. I think oftentimes they veer cheesy. They veer towards kind of the pantomime tradition at times, which is fine if that's your bag. It's not mine, and it tends to invite episodes that are lighter and kind of fluffier by nature, and every now and then you get something with a bit more heft to it, but by and large, it has it's not just a matter of inserting a couple of Christmas things. Christmas seems to have largely dictated the tone of those episodes as well. And especially if it's a tone that Chibnall doesn't want to play in, that would make it all the more valid. He didn't say that. That's me speculating a little bit. But here's where, at least for my part, I get annoyed by this. So I came to the conclusion earlier this year that even though I think I like Twice Upon a Time better than a fair, decent chunk of people out there, that I would rather Capaldi's last episode was The Doctor Falls. I think that was a much stronger final story for him. I think having him go out in the episode where he gives the just be kind speech to the master would have been much more appropriate than, dragging him along for one more story. And again, I actually do like Twice Upon a Time, but Dr. Falls would have been a stronger finish. And the only reason Twice Upon a Time was made, because it wasn't going to be. Originally, Moffat wasn't planning to do a Christmas special, but when he found out Chibnall was not planning to do one that year, and he was just working on Series 11 instead, then at that point, Moffat inserted it in because he was afraid that the show would lose that slot and no longer have Christmas. And so we get this additional episode that, again, while I don't severely dislike it, the show didn't need. And the reason it's there is now moot because it's being moved off the Christmas schedule anyway. So on that level, it does irritate me. I mean, the dominoes fall in the order that they fall. I'm pretty sure that Chibnall had not made the final decision that, I don't think I'm going to be doing Christmas at all at the point at which Moffat made the decision to insert Twice Upon a Time in order to keep that slot. It's very possible that Chibnall, thought, oh, no, I'll do Christmas. I just don't have one, ready before starting my series. And ultimately, later on, decided, you know what? I actually don't. Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a while now, and I don't really have much in the tank for this topic. And again, that's fine. That's legit. Still irritating to me. But again, I suspect there's going to be a lot of, how can there not be a Doctor Who Christmas special? It'll be one more change for the crowd that has already decided that they were going to hate this no matter what. And that's not me saying that this has been a perfect series so far. It hasn't. I've certainly had my issues, but you can tell oftentimes in the tone of comments and certain discourse that I have no sense of how big they are, but there's certainly a very vocal contingent of fans who already decided that they were going to hate this before it started, and then they jump on every single thing that is different and declare it awful, and this will just add fuel to that fire, which that'll annoy me on principle. But beyond that, I liked the Christmas specials, but again, I didn't grow up on them. I was an adult when the show came back on the air, so maybe it's more of a loss for people who were watching it, were watching that regularly as a family tradition as a kid, or even, as an adult, if it became a family tradition. I get, being sad about losing that, but, what else was there left to do with Christmas? I do kind of agree with Chibnall on that, and some of the, even in the time span we've had, some of them are really thinly connected to Christmas, but it always feels very conciliatory. But again, it largely felt like it dictated the tone more than anything else. And the tone that was usually in those episodes, not my thing. So yeah, no Doctor Who Christmas special. We will get a special, just not Christmas. So what are your thoughts about that? Whatever they are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Whole bunch of stuff you can do down there too, because there's links and there's buttons and stuff. They do things and take you places, including my Patreon page, if you feel like supporting the channel in that fashion. If you don't, though, don't sweat it. There's other stuff to check out. You don't have to look at any of it if you don't want, because at the end of the day, you guys are the council and I just run the meetings. So until next time, this council is adjourned.